Hello! Okay, I think everything is live. The layout isn't, but let's see if the audio works.
Hello!
Sounds good. Alright. I am here with a buddy of mine. I have been talking about him because I have been planning the stream for a little bit. Say hi, Mr.
You?
Doctor Blue.
That is what I go by.
That is-
What's
that is-
going on? I don't know
that's
if we have any viewers right now.
There's someone or two. I don't know. I don't really pay attention. I don't really
That's perfectly
care.
fine.
I don't care. I need to get the browser source going because I didn't do that beforehand because I'm very smart. I did,
Also
however...
have to figure out a way to show it to me.
That's not a browser source. I don't know what the fuck that is. Yes, I want to remove this. Can I not just like... Oh, I guess I have to do window capture. I mean, you could... I guess I could just screen share. That should work. Add
That does
source,
work.
new source... tier list. And the window you will be capturing is this. Nope, that's the wrong... That's the wrong one. Does this work? Can I just do this? You know what? This works. I can just make this small. Move it a little bit. I really should have done this before the stream, huh? That's fine.
Most likely. We'll be
Nah.
right back.
It's fine. It's fine. No one needs preparation when you can do things live. There we go. Move that here below all the other shit. There we go. Perfect. Never have I seen such professionalism except from me right now. And now I just need to share my screen with you somehow. And by somehow I mean I'm just gonna... Oop, that didn't work. Okay. Forget,
Oopsie.
don't put things on the other screen because the other screen is bigger. And here we go, create a ride Pokemon. There we go. You should be able to see everything.
Excellent.
So, ride Pokemon. I wanted to make a video on this, and instead of just talking with my buddy about all the information, because he's my little Poke encyclopedia, and I steal all of my information from him shamelessly. All of my videos are actually... Hey, what's up? All of my information is completely stolen from him and analyzed from him in a... If he just didn't talk to me, I just straight up couldn't make videos. That's how this works. We were gonna rank these, so I figured we might as well do it on stream because I thought it would be fun. Sadly, as you can see, the order didn't preserve, so these are completely like out of order from the generations. But hey, I guess that could be fun to do it this way. And I think we can just get started. Do you not want to just do like from top left to bottom right, even though they're out of order?
I guess we could, although I'm quite surprised you don't have Braviary on this list.
Is Braviary? Oh right, Hisuian Braviary.
And regular Braviary too. Both are incredibly strong
That's
and able
true.
to
Can
carry
I add
many
these? I
things.
don't think I can add these in hindsight. We'll just imagine them. Let's just start with Braviary. Okay, so Braviary. Hisuian and regular, I think, are basically the same, right? In terms
Yep,
of...
when it comes to both things.
But like, you don't
Well,
actually
Brave-
ride on Braviary, right? Like you like get carried by it.
That is the case, although I don't think it'd be a problem if you find a large enough one. Braviary as a Pokemon is strong enough to lift a car, so it's not really going to be too much. You could probably figure out like a Corviknight taxi kind of situation.
That's fair. I just feel like that automatically makes it like a little bit less, not useful, but like comfortable. Like if I'm talking like, I'm gonna be flying for 2 hours, I don't want to be like hanging by my arms. You know what I mean?
That's perfectly valid. They're not too bad. I believe they're roughly the same size as a Pidgeot, so on average, you should be able to find one large enough to ride on its back comfortably.
I guess we can just like put Pidgeot and Braviary, like we could just put Pidgeot somewhere and then put Braviary in the same tier because they're kind of the same in that aspect.
Yep,
Right?
the biggest problem I'd say with Braviary tends to do with its disposition. If a different Pokemon in the air offends it, it may want to immediately begin battling it. It's a Pokemon that's incredibly, I guess the word is persistent when it comes to getting it. It doesn't really fear much. I think they're known for being very fearless Pokemon, but
That's fair. Also, just give me a quick. I'm just gonna check if like we can actually hear you on stream because I'm unsure.
Very fearless Pokemon.
Yeah, okay, we can hear you on stream. You might just be a bit quiet.
Ooh.
Oh well. Just doing a
Okay.
quick double check because God, I don't know how to test audio. But yeah, so I would say in that case, because like if there's problems with it battling and with it not being able to actually like be on top of it, but it has to like carry you. Oh, thanks for confirming. I would say B tier because I feel like A tier is like something comfy you can go on a long journey with. But if it's like also causing problems with battling, then yeah, I would say B tier. Like it'll do the trick.
I'd say in a few ways it might be better than Pidgeot because you can, if need be, have it carry more people.
Oh, because it's just stronger, I guess.
Yeah, it might be able to support more people as well as carry things and fly and fight for much longer than the average bird Pokemon. But you'd have to really work to train it up to ensure it doesn't go out on a violent streak.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. I guess we can just do all the flying Pokemon then, since we're already kind of talking about them.
I guess we can start with that.
I'll put them. I'm just gonna put them here. So, the next one. Let's do Corviknight last, because that's probably the best one. You mentioned Charizard. I don't really know why you mentioned Charizard when we were originally talking about this, because I wouldn't really consider it a mount. I wouldn't really consider it like a Pokemon that you, like, oh, I'm gonna use this as like a Pokemon to ride specifically. Because like on the one hand, it's very rare, so it's very difficult to obtain. On the other hand, it just, I don't know if it'd be that comfortable to ride on. Like, because the flame is hot. It's not like Rapidash where like it doesn't burn you. Like the flame is always hot, so you always have to be careful not to get burned.
You don't really need to worry too much about the flame. Charizard's tail is far away from its wings while it's flying.
It's not that big though. Like if you're gonna be like, because I guess you would be around its neck, wouldn't you?
It really depends. Charizard sizes range pretty drastically depending on where you might find them. But let's say we're finding a Charizard that happens to be of the huger size. You wouldn't have too much trouble riding on one, as it flies pretty horizontally, I'd say.
That's fair. Also, I would say, yes, it was a mount in the Let's Go games. However, I am ignoring those games for canonicity, because you can ride everything. You can ride a Snorlax. It doesn't make it a mount Pokemon.
Well, and also you do have to realize that Charizard is used quite often in the Alola region as the ride Pokemon to get you across. It's also incredible. It's an incredible flyer capable of reaching incredible altitudes. It's also going to keep you warm while you're up battling against those super.
That's actually a good point, because if it's something that flies really fast, the wind chill would get really uncomfortable. Because, like, if I'm thinking about, like, oh, it's a very fast Pokemon, that's not necessarily a good thing, right?
Nope.
Because it's like with airplanes. You don't want to be in the fastest airplane. You want to be in the one that can get you there the safest and the most convenient way. If only, like, healthy 20-year-olds in a, like, still suit can ride a Charizard, that doesn't feel very convenient. But yeah, I guess we should also, like, take into account the fact that most of these Pokemon, if they're going to be used for the purpose of riding, will have like specialized equipment. Like you have that like saddle
you need a harness
on Charizard.
For
a harness.
Yeah.
So I guess that we should probably take that into account here. That like that does make Charizard a lot more convenient to ride. And it is a decently obedient Pokemon, right? Like I don't think are they known for their temper?
As long as you have your Charizard's respect, everything should be perfectly fine.
But if we're talking about like something like the ride page, where like it's not your Charizard, like you're renting this Pokemon for travel. Yep. Like it's not like a rambunctious Pokemon that'll just like kill people it doesn't like on its back.
Charizard is not the kind of Pokemon to be like that. Charizard can be trained. They do tend to be pretty prideful, but that pride does not usually tend to get in the way of their
That's fair.
sense of duty.
So, with all of that in mind, I don't think it's like the ideal flyer, but I would probably put it in like mid to high A rank, at least.
Yep.
I'd say that's
very
a good point.
versatile and can be used in a few places and be a pretty obedient flyer. And if it comes down to it, you have it's pretty good at defending itself while flying in the air and defending you as a result, since it has access to many moves that can be used from a range.
That's also true. All right, next one, Dragonite. This one,
Okay.
I am very unsure about because I mean, like, I know the small wings don't matter because it's a Pokemon, it's a dragon, like it is able to fly. But again, it's a case of like it's so fast. Is it really convenient to ride on? Because I know it's used as like a mail delivery Pokemon sometimes, isn't it? Or was that just in the movie?
Dragonite can be used for certain things. I mean, I'm not quite sure if any mail delivery service would be able to easily get access to one.
Oh, Mewtwo could.
Well, Mewtwo is special.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
Dragonite's thing is that it is an incredibly intelligent Pokemon, and uh, it's also incredibly kind-hearted. So it's probably not gonna go too fast when you're on there. It's just a very nice Pokemon to have around. Plus, if you're flying over the seas, it's probably the perfect Pokemon for ensuring it's aware of exactly where it might be, since they.
Ooh, that's true. Because like
They're
a
very
Charizard
attuned to
probably
the
wouldn't be
ocean.
best for like actually navigating the open ocean. Like you'd probably get lost.
That's most likely the case.
That actually feels like Dragonite in that case because it is so rare. Like there's not going to be a lot of them in service. 'Cause, like if we're talking like hypothetically, I want to run like a company that rents outright Pokemon. Dragonite would be like a premium service, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, but it would probably be good for like if it's really like intelligent and kind-hearted. This would be like a good ambulance, right?
Yep.
Like a
And
good
it also,
emergency.
as a Pokemon, is incredibly stable while flying.
Mm.
It's able to brave incredibly powerful winds, especially on the ocean, because the storms that happen while you're over there could be somewhat disorienting to other Pokemon that are used to flying over solid ground. It's just, it's basically, I believe, I'd say it's probably one of the best flyers out there.
It's also has like it has like barrier. I think it gets reflected light skill. Like it can protect you from like most things, and it's like extremely
Oh,
powerful without being explosive, I guess.
Yep, it
No.
has all kinds of access to all kinds of moves.
You're kind of
It
putting
can-
me,
it
you're
can
kind of putting me
basically-
around on this. I kind of feel like I would have put this in S rank.
Yep, I believe it's possibly the best kind of a flyer.
Like in terms of rarity, again, it pulls it down, but like you don't need this to be like the Pokemon that you have like 50 of to rent out for flying. Like this is for
Yep.
emergency and luxury. Not even luxury. I feel like it's a waste to put this on luxury. Okay, now Talonflame. I feel like we can roughly put in like Pidgeot.
Ooh, the big
tier.
problem of Talonflame is that compared to most bird Pokemon, it's much smaller.
Is it? I thought it was around the same size.
Nope, it is much smaller than Pidgeot. It's a Pokemon that usually hovers around the 4 foot range when it comes to pure length and height.
How much is that in real units?
Oh my god, okay. You're looking at 1.2 meters.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot smaller than I thought it was. Okay.
It is an incredibly fast Pokemon, and it is warm,
If
but
it's not weighed
when
down,
it-
I guess.
it's also capable of carrying prey, but unlike with Braviary, where you may be able to ride on its back, it's definitely a Pokemon that would have to carry you around.
So maybe more for like delivering things, not people. Like if you
Yes,
need like a
agreed.
very fast. Yeah, I guess as a ride Pokemon, this kind of fails, doesn't it? It fails the test. So I guess
Uh,
it'll maybe carry you if you need it to, but like.
It's not
CD
going to be
tier.
comfortable for you.
Yeah, I would maybe put this in.
But
like,
yeah,
D
pretty
tier.
fast though. 300 miles an hour isn't bad.
Actually, I guess are we making D tier like unrideable or just very uncomfortable to ride? Because I did
Maybe we
only-
should add a new tier for
unrideable?
something else.
Right,
yeah.
I'll make D tier unrideable. Is that how you spell? I don't actually know unrideable.
That should be UNRIDEA.
Sure. All right, and C is like uncomfy. Got it.
Yes.
Now I also put Flygon here because I was like, it feels like it should be in the same vein as like Salamence and Dragonite, but I don't actually. Because like this feels like the Pokemon to ride in a sandstorm or in the desert because it
Yep.
literally has the
They're
glasses.
quite
like,
large. They can protect themselves and are able to see in storms, and they're pretty good flyers.
But I actually don't know this because I don't think I've seen this Pokemon animated anywhere outside the games. do its wings actually flap slowly like they do in the 3D animation, or are they like dragonfly wings, where they beat really really fast? So like
They do
Brava
not
more
beat
like.
as they do not beat that fast. They can move pretty quickly when they need to, but Flygon don't beat their wings to the same speed as you would see a Yanmega do.
Yeah, or I guess the Brava. Yeah, so I guess this is like a very niche Pokemon, but when you have to ride it, it'll do its job really well.
Indeed,
Because
excellent for
like
deserts.
even something like a dragon, because like none of these Pokemon are immune to Sandstorm, so like even a Dragonite will not be comfortable carrying you through the desert.
Indeed.
So I would probably, just because of it's like the only Pokemon that can do this, put this in S tier. Because you can give this a similar harness to Charizard, but it can do things that Charizard can't. Right. I put Salamence here as well because I was like, oh, you know, dragon makes sense, like flying dragon makes sense, but I don't actually know if this is that, because Salamence are pretty aggressive, right?
Salamence can be quite territorial and aggressive Pokemon. They're basically uh, are difficult to control if they ever get enraged. However, they do enjoy flying, as we all know that the Big Online is one that is usually overjoyed to just be able to take off. So, similar to Dragonite, it's incredibly powerful and well, it's it's quite a good flyer. The biggest problem just has to do with its temperament, which might be
Yeah.
placing in a similar spot to Braviary.
It's also another Pokemon where like even if you put a harness on this, it's not gonna be comfortable. Because aren't its wings like actually sharp?
Its wings can be quite sharp,
Yeah, like I
but
feel like there isn't really
it's
a
large
comfortable
enough.
spot
It's
to
large
sit.
enough to. It's large enough that you can stay on its back should you need to without
I guess.
being concerned about it.
Like
Plus, since
it's
it's a Pokemon that stands on all four legs, it's has a pretty nice flat area for you to
I guess,
relax
yeah.
on while it
It's
goes
pretty
on.
flat. It's a pretty wide Pokemon. Still, I feel like no more than like B tier, like around the same as
Yeah,
Braviary, like you said.
it's a problem with its temperament, which can be trained, but you know these Pokemon uh,
Hmm.
do have certain things to do.
Tropius. Technically a
Oh, that's a
flyable
fun one.
Pokemon?
Indeed.
I was like this to me is like I don't think I've seen them fly in the games because they're always on the ground, but like they're pretty large. They are, they have a snack if you get hungry while you're flying.
And
I
they're
don't know.
very stable because they do have
Yeah.
4 wings, I believe.
And with all that neck area, you're gonna have something to hold on to. Yeah, it has in-flight snacks. That's what I mean. You could just like grab
Yep.
around its neck, grab a little banana, or I guess it's a bit pineapple, not pineapple
Although the
berry.
fruits only ripen twice per year, I believe.
Well, that's when you sell the good tickets.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
This
But
is the
they're
luxury
very
ride.
kind Pokemon. I believe that they're known for children and love their fruit, so they must be pretty approachable.
Mm. But in terms of the actual like they're not very fast is the problem, right? Like these are very slow Pokemon. It does have
They,
chlorophyll though, right?
I suppose in a nice sunny day you'd be able to take these things pretty far, but I can't really say too much on their stamina or.
That's the other thing. Is like, can they sustain long-term flight with something like? So, with the uncertainty, maybe high B tier.
I'd say high B tier.
High B tier.
Probably a Pokemon that's great for sunny day flies.
Yeah. When you're going to the tropics, you know, when the rich
Yeah.
people are going. Now, Corviknight. I mean, I feel like nothing
I
needs to
mean,
really be
it's
said here.
yeah, nothing. It's basically the best flyer
Yeah.
you can have.
Like, again, you can't really ride on its back, but this thing is basically bred for transport. Like, this is.
oh no, you're definitely able to ride on its back. It's
Oh, are
easy
you?
enough.
Oh, yeah,
Yep,
I guess the
that's where
taxi
the-
is more so for. Like, because, yeah, wait, they
It's
have
for
someone on their
carrying.
back when they're flying.
Yes, they have
Oh,
they
yeah.
have taxi drivers.
I mean, yeah, in that case, I don't think we need to say much.
It's
just-
huge. It's completely massive. It's a perfect flyer, highly intelligent.
It can sustain
basi-
someone on its back and a taxi with more people in it. Like this insane grip strength while still being like stable and comfy to ride in. This is the Pokemon that people are making like companies
The
around.
biggest problem is that you can't really use these in the Paldea region to fly due to the fact that you might be injured
No, but that's
due
not
to the
that's
fact.
not like an
But
issue of
but
Corviknight.
it's not Corviknight's fault.
It's not its fault. Also, I'm just gonna say I excluded Squawkabilly because you need like 5 of them to make it. That's not a mount Pokemon.
I mean, I feel like if you attached yourself, give it a rope and tied yourself around one, you could probably fly away.
Okay,
with
then
it,
I
and
would
it be
also have to
very
include
comfortable.
Drifblim on this list.
Okay, but Drifblim can at least carry you.
Yeah, okay, technically. Now, Metagross, I don't know if this is just like me having seen like so many characters that ride on their Metagross. Is this a viable mount Pokemon? It's again, it feels like
Indeed.
a waste compared to like Dragonite, where like it can hover, I guess.
Nope, it's incredible flying.
Is it? Okay.
Its psychic power is insanely powerful. It can carry multiple people if need be. It's able to even go. It's able to walk over long terrain, so it can function as a ground mount as well.
But it's not like the fastest, right?
I'd say they could be quite fast. The big thing is that since they don't really have to worry about flapping their wings, they're incredibly stable fires.
True, that's true. But again, it's like
Highly intelligent.
I feel like there's
and
better
incredibly
options.
powerful.
There's better options for everything, but if you're doing like a kind of like all-terrain travel where like this is like your partner Pokemon, it's not a Pokemon you're renting out, I would say like high A tier, maybe above Charizard.
I'd say
as
above
fast,
Charizard.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
it's not as fast, but it's far more. It's far more versatile.
Hmm.
It can use its psychic powers to clear the path for you if you're walking with it. If you're flying with it, it's going to be able to calculate just how far and how fast it needs to travel to be the most efficient. Highly intelligent, pretty standard temperament there. It's not going to get annoyed by anything, most likely. So it's probably going to be fine.
That's true, actually, a good temperament. Now, Magnezone I also include, but this just feels like a poor man's Metagross, right? Because
Yeah,
it's not
the
as
big
intelligent, and it's gonna get a lot more distracted by like electricity and food, I guess.
It's a Pokemon that, while it can hover, is also incredibly small compared to Metagross.
It's true, yeah, it's a lot smaller. It's weird because it feels like almost the same, but it also doesn't have like as nice of a surface area to stand on. I guess it has a little knob to grab onto, but it probably doesn't enjoy
Yep,
being
that's the
grabbed
best
there.
you can do. You can grab up enough to kind of like surf on there. I'd say like for pretty short distances, this is the perfectly stable Pokemon to use to get around.
I'd say like above Pidgeot and Braviary.
I'd put it below Pidgeot personally. The biggest problem is that if it gets attracted to a different Magnezone during
That's true.
flight, that could go really badly for you.
I don't know if the top thing makes it harder to ride. I think the top, like, it depends on if it enjoys being grabbed there. If it does, then you can just
I
like
don't
hold
think
on
it
to it,
minds.
attach something there.
Those Pokemon don't usually get bothered by too much.
That's
In fact, it's I can't even tell if the middle section it has it's an eye, but it never changes its expression.
What I forgot to put on here, imagine new Pokemon here, Aegislash. Technically
Ooh,
a Pokemon that people ride on, even if just for the very specific purpose of trainer battle commentary.
I can see that being used as a short-ranged option with a harness that can protect you from
Yeah.
most things. I'm not too sure about how well Aegislash might be able to weather most things, because unlike Magnezone and Metagross, who have psychic power and magnetism to propel them through the air, it doesn't really seem to have too much of a convincible or...
Here's
I guess
the thing with that,
regular.
right? Because in my headcanon, because like everywhere in the or all the time in the anime, at least when before New Horizons was coming out, we would see the battle coordinators, the battle like commentators with Aegislash, right? The reason in my head is because you can like put a harness on any Pokemon, right? Like, I mean, fucking Machamp's on this list, right? Like, you can theoretically ride any Pokemon. But I think the reason why Aegislash specifically is because there's probably no other Pokemon with as strong of a protecting move as Aegislash.
Yep.
So for someone who is literally flying around the battlefield, that's probably pretty important to have.
Yep, and I do remember that in the first X and Y movie, Dancey and the Cocoon of Destruction, I believe some guy basically kind of used this Aegislash to get him around the forest.
So apparently there is a myth or a trope of people riding on flying swords in Chinese novels. I did not know about that.
It's pretty cool. I read a flying sword.
Alright. Last Pokemon that can potentially fit into the flying category, although in my head this is more of a land riding Pokemon, Dodrio. We already talked about how this is like, it's fast, but it's gonna be problematic if it's not yours, and even if it is because the heads are gonna fight. So,
Yep.
like, how convenient is this really to ride on?
I mean, if you can basically get them to focus on one objective, I think most things will be fine. As long as you don't try to do too well, or make them go through too complicated areas, and provide plenty of snacks, I think you'd most likely be fine. Probably shouldn't try to fly on this, they aren't the best flyers.
Especially with, like, the weight of a person on them.
Most likely, but very strong, incredibly sturdy, able to travel quite fast on land.
I just feel like this is another one of those where, like, it'll do the job, but, like, you don't really want... Like, this feels like C-tier category. This feels like...
I wouldn't say so. My big thing is that for flat ground running, and as well as traveling over, like, large gaps with jumping, this Pokemon's basically probably the... I think it makes up for its temperament and split mind by being able to leap and fly over areas that might be too dangerous for it to go through.
That's fair, I guess. For like short range or for like short travel that has a lot of like rusty terrain. So I guess maybe B tier above Magnezone.
I'd say that probably works for it.
Now,
plus they love running, so you don't really have to give it too much.
True, yeah. They don't need much motivation. Now, do you want to do water mounts or land mounts next? I feel like water mounts have like more interesting.
We can start with water mounts
because there's not many of them. So compared to the land mounts, I feel like the land mounts have like the most to talk about and compare. We're doing backwards last, obviously.
Of course.
Now, Lantern. I've seen a lot of art and like cards of people riding Lantern, and it does seem convenient, but like not like it's not fast. It just feels very good for like nighttime travel.
It's also quite small.
Yeah, like on like calm bodies of water. Like this is not gonna like get you surfed through like rough waves. Like this is for like
so basically this is probably for if you want to do some underwater exploration while having something to hold on to.
I didn't include dive Pokemon as a mount. Yep. But yeah, this feels like the best dive Pokemon because it's inbuilt light. It doesn't need to like, you don't need to teach it flash.
The biggest problem is that if you want to defend yourself underwater using an electric type move, well, you'll have to be pretty careful about what you choose.
I mean, can't Pokemon like aim their electricity generally pretty well even on
They
the water?
can, but you probably don't want to be near it while it happens. Yeah. Thunderbolt's probably fine. Never use Discharge underwater.
Obviously, yeah, but like Signal Beam, Thunderbolt, that kind of thing.
Signal Beam's a bug type move.
Yeah, and it learns it. This guy doesn't know every move every Pokemon can learn. So, actually, in that case, I would probably say like low A, high B tier, like maybe below Char. Because like for the purpose of diving, this seems like the best one, but like that's such a niche application.
I guess you'd have to attach something to it so you can hold on while it goes down. It's not really going to be carrying you anywhere. You're most likely just going to be dragging you along. But like for diving, I'd say that for diving, I'd say it'd probably be pretty fun.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to put this in like low A tier. Now Sharpedo does have the caveat of being a right pager Pokemon, so this gets a little heads up already. But I'm not gonna lie, whenever I see this whenever I mount this in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, it just never looks comfortable. These things are
no, it's perfectly valid. It's fast, it's a little jet ski.
I didn't include Mantine. Oh my god, I also forgot Mantine.
We'll come back to that Sharpedo for now.
Yeah, Sharpedo for now. Like
now, incredibly fast Pokemon.
Keep talking.
Alright, very fast Pokemon, and since it doesn't really need to pedal its back fin or tail to kind of propel itself through water, you don't need to worry too much about like bumpy ride, since it just oscillates by ejecting water from its rear. Also incredibly tough, will kind of be really good at protecting you. It's pretty fast. I'd say that pretty massive too.
It's not
Uh,
that big though.
it's over 6 feet tall, or it can be at least.
Sharpedo?
Yes,
Really?
very
I
large
didn't think it was that
Pokemon.
big. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna quickly put Braviary where we said it would be. It was like above Pidgeot, right? Or no, it was below. Above, below. Above.
Um, I'd put it below Pidgeot personally.
We put Aegislash like in low A tier, I think, or was it low B
No,
tier?
I'd put Aegislash in high B tier
Okay.
personally.
Okay. Just so we have those handled now.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Alright. Very useful Pokemon to get around. Although the biggest problem is,
Fair point, actually.
I,
Rough skin. Not all of them have rough skin, so you'd probably want to ride on ones that don't have it. But yeah, if you have your own Sharpedo, you probably don't want to ride it if it has rough skin. That
no,
feels
I mean,
uncomfortable.
the whole thing about that is that Sharpedos can choose to make their skin rough or not.
Oh, right, because they can like streamline themselves.
Yep,
Oh, true, 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 true. So it needs to like you.
basically.
Okay, that's the point with most Pokemon, though. It is pretty aggressive as well, but like, I guess if you can train them, like again, it's like for the purpose of being fast and smashing rocks. They're not the most comfortable ride on the water, but they will get the job done. They're fast. They can
Yep.
help you through like rougher areas. So like, I guess high B tier, low A tier. What do you think?
Honestly, I'd put it in high A tier for just its versatility and ability to get through.
Above Charizard?
I'd put it either. I mean, you can't really compare it to Charizard. It's a completely different type of Pokemon, so we'll just have to compare it to the next A tier Pokemon in underwater.
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah. This is
I'd
also
place it
probably
on-
pretty good for underwater stuff, right? Because it's just like
Yes.
faster. Gotcha.
It's faster. You don't have to worry about much, and it can smash through anything that's in your way.
All right. Speaking about aggressive Pokemon, Gyarados.
Ooh, this is a fun one.
Now, are we including this as a flying mount?
They are capable of flying.
They
but,
are.
not-
They are. We've only ever seen it in one single game, and I don't know if it's ever been shown in the anime. But like, technically, these would be pretty good ride Pokemon to have.
They're huge, and I don't think anything's going to be getting in your way while you're on there.
No, 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 no. They are like, yeah, like Intimidate is pretty useful ability for that. Again, though, the aggressive disposition, I don't know how much that's gonna like make things problematic.
Yeah, once they start going, they get pretty tough. It's a pretty violent Pokemon when it comes down to it, but
I would
I'd say
honestly
similarly
say,
to
like, it has a similar problem to Braviary, but its versatility makes you want to put it higher than Braviary at like high B tier. Because like you
I
really
would
need to know how to
agree.
control one, but if you do, they're extremely useful.
indeed.
So I want to put it around here. Now, we have seen in a recent anime episode that Pokemon can ride on Wailord.
Yep. Well, Wailord's basically a perfect.
Yeah. We're gonna assume
huge.
here that it is actually like a water Pokemon and not a blimp with lower density than air, because that's I
It
think
can
what it
dive
actually is.
underwater. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, like they're fine. They have Pokemagic. But like I fail to see a time when this is as useful as something like, I don't know, a Lapras or Sharpedo, or just like if you're transporting a lot of stuff, like just get a regular ship. I feel like at this point, if you're transporting enough stuff to warrant using a Wailord specifically, you should just be using a boat.
That is true. The big thing is that it's also a pretty good diving Pokemon to have around.
How so?
Wailord are capable of diving to incredible depths. They are
That
large
doesn't mean
and
that
can
humans
protect you.
can, though.
I mean, we don't have to dive as deep as they can, but
That's true, I guess. Like, for me, it's like, sure, it's good at swimming and diving, but like, when are you gonna use this over another swimmer? It's also just like so inconvenient for any body of water that is not literally the ocean.
that is true. I'd just say that it's really massive. Jeez.
Like, I honestly want to do like low B tier, maybe even high C tier for this.
I'd say just for its massive size alone, probably around there would be a good idea. I'd say high C tier.
Yeah, like, the size feels like more of an inconvenience than anything else.
Especially because you need to feed them a whole lot to get them going.
That's fair. There is a certain aspect of sheer coolness of emerging from the water with a mammoth Pokemon like this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that doesn't really make it... Like, no one's gonna buy a trip on a Wailord multiple times.
That is true.
Yeah. Still pretty cool, though. Okay, Mantine. This feels like a solid low S tier.
I do agree with that. My biggest caveat of that is I believe that they're not quite as good in colder waters.
That could be fair, yeah. The thing is, I just want to put this in low S tier for the... Just for the fact that, like, they're not just ride Pokemon. They're also... Like they're also a sport Pokemon, right? Like,
Yeah.
they have to be doing something right for them. What do you mean, why is Staraptor? I can't put every bird on this, come on. Staraptor is like... It's the same as Talonflame, like, it's too small.
Actually, Staraptor is a very good flying Pokemon.
But isn't it also small?
Apparently they can get pretty big, I think.
I mean, I feel like for most of the birds that are not like... That don't have anything special about them, like, we can just assume that they're in Pidgeotto's place, right?
Yeah, we can just
Yeah.
put them in there.
Ah, Ranger
While,
games,
while,
blah,
while
blah.
most Staravia can tend to hang on the like kind of smaller size, they're pretty strong and they can get big enough to carry people.
I'm doing well, thank you. But, like, Mantine, I would say low S tier.
That's an S tier.
Yeah, S tier. Now, do we need to talk about Lapras? I'm just gonna put it here.
It's
We don't
highest tier. It's
we don't-
top of the list.
Like, this is... I put this on this, I was like, I want to put this at the end, but, like, there's nothing to say. It's Lapras. Every
Intelligent,
single...
understands human speech.
Yeah, like, every Dex entry, every time this Pokemon shows up in any medium, it always just emphasizes how fucking friendly it is, how much it likes giving people rides, how comfortable its shell apparently is, despite it looking not comfortable at all. Like, I don't know, it's just S tier.
It will
There's
sing for
there's nothing to say.
you.
Oh yeah, it'll serenade you to sleep or make you do your Perish song.
Yeah. All right, that's the easiest one yet.
That's the, yeah, like there's... Oh
alright.
wait, Surf, right. Basculegion, I forgot about this guy.
Oh, those are pretty fast.
They're fast. It's another issue of like... Okay, it's not an issue I've talked about, but
Rarity,
like...
I'd say.
They're from Hisui, so once immediately... They're not around anymore that much.
Yeah,
So
but
they're
the only place you can
incredibly
find these
rare.
guys are in the land of Kitakami.
Yeah, like, so they're very rare, and then add to that the issue of, like, this is not at least from I don't remember, this is not a Pokemon you can ride on while staying out of the water. You're gonna get wet when you ride this.
I
And-
mean, it's pretty. I think it's pretty fine at staying on top of it, but I mean, you're probably gonna get wet if riding any Pokemon in the water.
The other issue I have is the Pokemon that we ride in the Legends games is specifically a noble Pokemon. Regular Basculegion are not that big.
I suppose, but they're still,
They're still big, but they're not...
They're
like,
still on average close to 10 feet long,
Yeah, like, I'm just saying it's not...
which is 3 meters for you.
The image we have of them in our head is not the same as it actually is for most people. So I would probably put this in, like, around as Gyarados, maybe.
I wouldn't say so. I'd honestly say it's a pretty high, not high A. I'd say it's either low A Pokemon, mostly because
Low
they
A?
basically they can swim through rapids with no problems.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, their whole thing is, like, going upstream.
Yep, and also they're capable of jumping pretty high, so if there's any blockage over there, you can get over there pretty easy.
I would put it above Lantern, then.
Yep.
Alright. Now, we're on to land Pokemon. I don't know why Go-Goat's on here twice. I guess we can start
It's
with
just
Go-Goat.
that good.
I would even put this
Yeah,
above
that's a
Lapras.
strictly A Pokemon.
A?
I mean S Pokemon.
I was about to, like, Go-Goat is
it's
another one of those where
It's
it's
a
like-
quintessential ride Pokemon, capable of navigating multiple kinds of terrains.
There's nothing to
incredibly
say
powerful.
about it outside of just how insanely good it is as a ride Pokemon.
Plus, communicating with them by just grasping their horns is easy enough.
Like, this is one of those things that's like, like, there has to be, like, a company in Pokemon centered around Go-Goat.
I mean, there is one in the
Yeah.
Kalos region.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna just also like immediately put Cyclizar up here again. It's just like, what is there to say? This whole Pokemon's thing is being a ride Pokemon.
Yep, also
It
pretty
can it
incredible.
can run regularly. It can inflate its throat sac and tail to like be on like flatter terrain, go faster. Nothing much to say. Um, while we're talking about good Pokemon, both of the Rapidash. Now, regular Rapidash I know is very good to ride if it likes you,
Yep.
which makes it not very good for like renting out. But like if you have one and it likes you, like immediate, I would say like A plus S tier.
It's incredibly fast. It's
Yeah.
incredibly strong, and it can run for extremely. It loves running.
But there is that
It's-
inconvenience of it being like it has to like you. So I would say high A tier. Yeah. Now I don't actually know anything about Galarian Rapidash.
They're much more temperamental and prideful compared to
More? Okay.
Rapidash from other releases. It's incredibly they're much rarer as well. But it does have a very light step because it's able to run. It uses its psychic abilities to aid with how it runs, so you'll have a very comfortable ride if you get one. It should be it probably is just as fast as a regular Rapidash.
So I guess for purposes of when you need to, like when you're going through like a forest and you don't want to be noticed, right? Like there's dangerous Pokemon about. This would be the Pokemon to go when you still have to go like it's decently fast.
Yep.
So maybe below Charizard, I would say.
I'd say so. I'd probably say in terms. I mean, that's currently the lowest we have for. I mean, it's between Dodrio and other Rapidash. I'd say only because it's more temperamental, but if trained, it's probably gonna do you better than
Yeah.
a
I guess we
regular
could
Rapidash.
put it
Just
in, like,
it's much rarer, but that's the biggest problem. Is just it's more prideful than the regular version.
I don't think the whole thing about like only women can speak to it is true. I'm pretty sure like anyone can talk to Rapidash even if they're not a woman.
I believe that is
just
just
has
a
to let
myth,
you.
indeed.
Now, I guess we're talking about horned Pokemon. Wordier. Again, a Pokemon from Hisui that is rare nowadays, and we're also used to we're used to seeing us ride a noble. So again, like I feel like there's just nothing specifically about Wordier that's like, oh, this is a Pokemon meant to be ridden. It's just like it's a quadrupedal Pokemon with enough space for a person on its back. It doesn't actually feel that unique.
I guess it's good at finding safe. It's pretty good at like traveling safely since it's able to use its antlers to kind of scan the area, and it's also a pretty good jumper.
But again, it's like,
And
I
it's
would
also
honestly
pretty good at
put
protect.
this-
It can use its psychic powers to protect you as well.
It's not
so
that
similar to
strong,
Dragonite.
though. It doesn't have like that strong of a psychic power.
I mean, it's pretty. It's what most of its energy is kind of put to. It's supposed to be a very.
Yes. Still, I would not put
I
this higher
mean-
than P tier.
It has the size shield bash. It's basically just to protect itself way more than people.
Yeah, but if you're on its back while it's doing that, that doesn't feel very.
I mean, it
Safe.
doesn't really matter. It cloaks you and itself in an orb of psychic
Oh, I
energy
guess
to
it
protect you.
But still, like, it just doesn't do anything. It's like
It
specific.
protects you, and it can freaking seek. It
All
can
of these
seek out
protect you.
safe
These
paths.
These are all incredibly.
It's
useful
but this
Pokemon.
Pokemon is able to like scout out safety while moving.
Still, I would not. I would put this like just under Galarian Rapidash.
I'd put it above Galarian Rapidash
Above?
personally.
Okay. I guess it is pretty useful if you're using these for the same purpose of like navigating like areas where you don't want to be spotted and where you need to save, like you need to go through safely. I guess Wordier will do the job better.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's a pretty warm Pokemon too, so it'll be comfortable to ride.
All right. Ursaluna, last Hisuian one we're gonna. Or I guess we can do Sneasler after. But like Ursaluna, again, it's a Pokemon where like nothing about this specifically says this is a ride Pokemon. This really just feels more like if you're looking for
I mean-
truffles, I guess this is the Pokemon to go
It's
for.
also perfect for navigating through swamps.
Oh really?
it's a Pokemon that you kind of want to use to get through hard, rough, coarse, muddy terrain pretty simply. It's a Pokemon that can get through that pretty quickly.
But we also have Mudbray for that purpose.
Mudbray isn't really the best for traveling through muddy grounds. It's for harsh and hard grounds. Mudbray would probably sink if it gets too deep.
The
into
name
the
is
wrong
deceiving.
place.
In that case, I guess if it's another one of those like unique terrain Pokemon, maybe below Lantern? It does also have its usefulness for just like seeking out things, because it does have an insanely good nose. I would probably put her out here. I hear no objection. Alright.
Wait, where did you put it? Yeah, it's in that 3-5.
No,
Honestly, I'd say like it kind of functions similarly to it functions similarly to Mudsdale in terms of like what it can do. Mudsdale is just more versatile when it comes to being able to travel across things, because Mudsdale can like you can use Mudsdale's ability to create that really high quality mud to do some other things while you're on the road. So
I mean,
I'd
if
say
we're already talking about Mudsdale, the other thing is that this is, it's meant to be like a, not a sled horse, but like a horse specifically for pulling things. Like,
yep.
That also makes me feel like, if you're transporting things and you don't like, it's through an area where you can't use a car, but you can use like a wagon with wheels or whatever. Like Mudsdale does have.
Mudsdale's an easy S. I think it's an easy S, honestly.
Yeah, I would put it at like low S. But it is still an S tier, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it above Mantine, because Mantine is just here for the sport, but yeah. Now, the Sneasler. One of the, like, 3 bipedal Pokemon that's on this list. We can do those next, I guess. Again, this is here because it was a mount in Legends Arceus, but, like... I guess there aren't really that many Pokemon that are, like, good at carrying someone for climbing, but even then, like... The basket required for a noble alpha Sneasler to carry you can only fit a child. How does a regular-sized Sneasler carry a regular-sized person?
I'm not sure if you can comfortably undo unless you hang off. It's like you hang off. So it might not be the most comfortable ride, but I guess it eventually will get you going, since it can easily carry people.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. No, Sneasler doesn't make me uncomfortable. It's amazing. Come on. No, I would put Sneasler honestly in C tier because, like, it's the application for it is so niche. Nowadays, everyone can get the TM for rock climb, right? You only need to rock climb for like such short bursts. Usually, it's not like a thing you need a dedicated Pokemon for. And even for that purpose, Sneasler, unless you're a kid, you have an alpha, it just doesn't really work. Like, I guess above Talonflame and Wailord for its like.
The big thing about it, it'll be able to climb more terrain than most Pokemon. Knowing rock climb, since rock climb specifically for incredibly craggy walls.
It's good at what it does, but it's just such a niche application.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly,
Now I'm just gonna put Machamp right here as well. You can argue with me.
How dare you?
Like.
Machamp is much better than Sneasler when it comes to carrying people.
Yeah, but again, why would you ever use this?
I mean, if you need to freaking get through a mountain and you need to move through, things, nothing's gonna stop it from pushing anything away.
But like, why do you need to ride it for that? You don't need to ride it. Like, it's a ride Pokemon technically. I think this is a good lord. I think this is good for it.
No.
No? Okay. I'm willing to hear you out, Professor Dr. Mister.
Okay.
Mr. Pokemon. Dr. Pokemon.
Unlike a lot of Pokemon on here, it has 4 arms to give you a comfortable ride.
The bridle carry,
yep, it'll just carry you over there. It basically strong enough and has enough stamina to travel for huge distances. If you're traveling through like a cave or a place with a lot. They need to move through quickly while also being able to move things out of the way. It's probably a really good Pokemon for that. It's just incredibly powerful, and
But again,
uh,
higher than C tier? Really? You would put this higher than like Dodrio? Like, I'm not saying it's
I would put it.
useless. Where would you put it? Where do you think it belongs?
I'm willing to rest on it being in C tier at the
Okay.
top.
I'm glad we can settle. Now Garchomp I want to put into unwritable tier out of principle, but Whipper was in the chat earlier, so he would kill me.
It's incredibly fast Pokemon, incredibly strong, can navigate through caves, can dig. You can literally let you travel underground with it.
But it shouldn't be able to fly. It's stupid.
Okay, half of the things on this list shouldn't be able to fly, but we're here anyway.
Okay, but it just hovers. It looks so dumb. Fine, I'll put it in like A tier. I'll put it next to Charizard. I put it here out of spite on the list. I was hoping I could just like navigate past it and just put it in like unwritable tier randomly.
We're so silly.
Are we in agreement here in terms of
That's
accuracy?
perfectly fine.
Okay. I guess we can talk about Stoutland next since we already talked about Ursaluna. This feels like a poor man's Ursaluna.
I mean, it's very fluffy.
It is very fluffy, but again, it's like this doesn't have any specific terrain that it can carry through. It just has the good nose, basically.
I mean, it'll get you through the snow.
I guess. Maybe like between Wordier and Galarian Rapidash?
I'd say that's perfectly valid.
Alright.
Yeah.
Now, I guess we can talk about the Tauruses next. I don't actually know that much about them, especially in terms of like the Paldean breeds, how they differ. Like my instinct is to put like the water breed higher than all the others, but like because I feel like
I mean,
it's
it
part of
can't
the
swim,
colors.
so
They can't, or they
it can.
can.
It can't. It can freaking
it has, like, a
propel
propeller
itself
tail.
through water.
But like, let's talk about regular Tauros first, because I don't actually know much about
Okay.
this in terms of rideability. You're gonna have to take over on this.
No, this is a Pokemon that can charge for days. It does not get tired too easy. It can it'll basically smash through anything in your way, like similar to a lot of other Pokemon on this list.
So I guess it's like the land Sharpedo, right?
It kind of is one. They tend to be pretty wild and aggressive. The ones in Alola are a lot calmer, which is why they're used there for ride Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I guess whenever we were talking about like ride Pokemon on Alola, we have to always with the caveat like, yeah, Sharpedo's aggressive as shit. However, Alola just has like friendliness
Everything's
all
just
over
chill
the
over
place.
there. Freaking
I love Alola.
Pinsir and Heracross don't fight there.
Yeah. I guess I don't want to put it in B tier, but I guess like low A tier.
Yeah.
Low A tier feels like it fits. Like even an aggressive Tauros will get you through the day. Now I have no idea in what sense the combat breed like changes compared to regular
They're
Tauros.
basically just compared to regular Tauros, they're a little slower because they're a lot bulkier and stronger.
Probably a bit more
I think their
aggressive?
stamina is roughly the same. The combat breed, I suppose that you could say that they might be that way. I just prefer close quarter combat. Depends on things. I'd say they're roughly similar to regular Tauros, and just being a little larger.
We can probably just put it like right below it in A tier.
Yeah.
I do love Alola, yeah. The cutscenes, I guess I've been playing on emulator a lot, so I can skip through them, but man, the tutorial is so long.
I just put Aqua Breed Tauros above all of them since it can swim. And you
And
can
I
kinda
would
like
probably
underwater
put
if it-
Fire Breed like the lowest because it feels like the most aggressive.
They're all basically the same.
Yeah.
It just breathes fire. I guess it can keep you warm if it gets cold.
I suppose, yeah, it makes it like a little bit better, but it's
I'd
not
say
as fast.
I'd put Combat Breed just Combat Breed the lowest. Fire Breed above Combat Breed, below regular Tauros.
And then
Actually,
water.
yeah, because regular Tauros should be faster and much
Yeah.
easier to go.
But then Water Breed has the versatility that the others don't.
Yeah, so that makes it the best when it comes to.
Now, we've already talked about Gogoat. Arcanine. I don't actually know where this belongs. It's
Now,
extremely
that's a Pokemon
fast.
that can run It's
that,
pretty
like, this
fast,
is-
and it can run for huge distances.
Like, this can give Dojo and Rapidash a run for its money, literally.
I think I'd put it above them mostly because
Yeah.
it's basically much more comfortable. I assume, nice and warm.
Is this... Like, I honestly feel like this is, like, a similar ranking to, like, Go-Goat and Cyclizar, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably put it below them because this is harder to come across and hard to make trust you. Like, this is not as widely applicable. But if you have an Arcanine that likes you, you're gonna use it any day of the week over a Go-Goat or a Cyclizar, because it is just, like, straight up
It will get
better
you
if it
anywhere you need
likes
to go. Let's see.
Also, cute dog.
Yep, seems to have a nice running pace of 250 miles an hour. So
Yeah,
that'd be
you know.
fine.
To me, I don't know why, but to me, Extreme Speed is this thing's signature move. I don't know if it ever was, but in my head it is.
Extreme speed. That's pretty
Yeah.
interesting to think about. I believe that.
I like.
I believe it was the first Pokemon to have that move.
Yeah, like, I don't know why, but it just always feels like it. Now, Steelix. This is another, like, very niche Pokemon, right? I guess we can say Onix and Steelix basically the same in terms of, like, these are Pokemon that you want to tunnel with.
Yep.
And, like for that purpose, I didn't really find anything that could be considered, like, a ride Pokemon. Like, Diggersby, you don't really ride on it for it to tunnel. Or, like, Dugtrio, for
Yep.
example. Like,
Same
Steelix
with
seems like the only one that
Excadrill.
you can, like, be on while it tunnels.
Yeah. Large enough for you to sit on its head comfortably.
Mm.
Uh,
It's sturdy. It's not gonna get you get. It's not gonna make you get hurt. It can protect you.
Yep.
It can make tunnels
That's-
big enough to be comfortable to stand in.
For what it is, I'd say it's a pretty good Pokemon. I'd put it in A tier for.
I would put it next to, like, Lantern and Ursaluna for, like, it's a niche application, but it's basically
Yeah.
like it's the best thing in that niche.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Rhydon is another one where I was like, it's like a
Well, it's
sport
in the
Pokemon,
name.
but it's not actually, like, it's not that fast. It's not that easy to ride. Like, I'm pretty sure these are pretty stupid, right? Like, they're not, like, the most intelligent.
They're not. I want to call them stupid. They're just very. They have a very one-track mind. And
Yeah, and don't they
it's-
just, like, run into anything?
It kind of hard to stop from charging, and it can. You kind of have to give it some time to change directions while running. It's pretty tough Pokemon, and it's not smart enough to really assist people if, like, doing farm work or anything like it. It's very sturdy. It's just not very smart. I can see
Yeah.
it being incredibly useful for rough terrain and smashing through anything that might be in your way, but
So I guess
unfortunately, I think it has to go in the
Yeah.
it has to go in the C
C
tier, I
tier.
believe.
like, this just feels like worse than Tauros in every way, except that there's a
Yeah.
sport around it. Because, like, yeah, like I said, in X and Y, you have, like, the Rhydon Riders sporting thing, but this feels more. It doesn't feel like with Mantine, like, oh, there's a cool Pokemon that is good at, like, letting you ride it. Let's make a sport around it.
Ride-on riding is a sport because of how difficult
Yeah,
it
like,
is.
it's a challenge to ride them. I would honestly put this, like, the lowest in C tier, to be honest.
I'd put it above Wailord.
Or what, Wailord? Okay, yeah. But,
Because
like,
at least
Wailord's
it's more
actually...
practical compared to
That's true, yeah, because Wailord's really big. And Stakataka, I'm not gonna lie, I put here because I want to put something in unrideable.
it's unrideable. You don't want to
It's
get on that
quite
thing's head. It
literally
hates it. It
Entirely
hates it.
unrideable. That's the only reason I put this here. Is like, I was thinking of, like, what Pokemon, like, straight up don't allow you to ride them, and this was, like, the first one that came to mind. Are there any others that are, like, they just don't allow you to ride them, like, full stop?
Think of, like, stuff like Aegislash that will never let you, like, hold it.
But that, like, Aegislash is still rideable.
Yeah, as long as you don't freaking grab it.
Yeah.
Thing. But no, do not ride this thing. Eventually, I think it might, if you, like, manage to, like, rodeo clown on it for long enough, it might eventually, like, back down. But you're probably going to not make it that far because, you know, it is a very, very
isn't
big,
Isn't it a
very
thing
strong.
where, like, if it likes you, or, like, if you earn its respect, it'll let you ride it.
Yep. Although I don't know how comfortable it would still be.
Yeah,
with,
like, it's
letting
still
you
just
do
like
that
a
for long.
flat tower that hulks along slowly. Ride muck and you won't be happy. I mean,
No,
I guess
you shouldn't really
technically.
be touching muck.
Like, I mean, I was more so thinking about, like, Pokemon that are unrideable because it's explicitly said that they are. Which, like, in that case, only Stack Attacker really came to mind.
Okay, hear me out here. What about
Alright.
like
I'm hearing you out, I'm hearing you out.
Okay, what about one thing of like an ice type that if you ride it you just kind of freeze over?
Frostlass? Glalie?
I mean, Glalie you can probably do fine with. Frostlass is too small for you to ride on.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, one thing you may have noticed is I completely excluded legendaries from this, but I think we can both agree that, like, there's a lot of legendaries that make for insane mount Pokemon, like fucking Galarian Zapdos. It's just straight up better Dodrio.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like, I don't know,
Get me a Genesect.
get me a Genesect. Yeah, like, I excluded them here because for the purpose of the tier list, I want to, like, you know, I want to do one of my videos where it's like in character, from the point of view from someone like, oh, I want to write, like, I want to get a partner Pokemon, or I want to like I want to open a company in the Pokemon universe. You're not gonna get access to like 15 Galarian Zapdoses, Zapdosai.
Zapdos is the plural of Zapdos.
I know there are horse legendaries, but I'm pretty sure Glastrier and Spectre are like pretty
You
uncomfortable
need
to
the
ride
freaking
on.
reins.
Yeah, like they're
No, you
not
need
just,
the
like...
reins because they're wild horses that only respond to those reins.
Also, I personally don't like fusing with my ride Pokemon. That's just a me thing, though. I don't want to become Pay Ice Rider. Yeah, no. I think it's a pretty
Okay, hear me out here.
Uh-huh,
I mean, Shedinja's a tiny Pokemon, but if you like try to get on its back and you look in its hole, what if
if you look at it, I mean, you'll get transported somewhere. You know, Dusknoir. You know, you'll go somewhere if you ride it. If you let it eat you, you'll go to like a location. That's different than your previous one.
Just look right into the hole in its back. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. All right. Do you want to look?
You have stuff like Raikou and Suicune, which are also just really good ride Pokemon.
But yeah,
What
we've
were
been
you
saying
saying?
for like an hour. Do you want to like clean up the list in any way? Any
Okay,
placements you
let's
think
take
that
a
need
look
fixing?
here.
Because I actually would put Arcanine above these two, first of all, because, like, in terms of land travel, like, this is just unmatched. I know that
Yeah.
I know that, like, these two are more convenient, but just, like, Arcanine is, weirdly enough, like, even though it's a dog and not a horse, it is the ride Pokemon.
It's the one known for traveling vast distances in a single day.
I kind of want to put Mantine lower, to be honest. I kind of want to put it in A tier.
I'd say that it's in terms of water mounts, Lapras just kind of beats it out in a lot
It's
of
also because,
ways.
like, I realized that it's not really that difficult to fall off of a Mantine. Like, again, it's a sporting thing.
I
and I'm
think
sure
you'd have
you
an easier
could-
you'd have an easier time falling off a Mantine than you would a Sharpedo.
Yeah, like, and again, you need to have, like, the specific harness for it.
Yeah.
And if you're using it with a harness, it's a lot slower. So for that purpose, I would actually put it, like, around where Sharpedo is. Like, higher.
Because you don't
but-
even need a harness for Sharpedo.
Yeah, but our Sharpedo also, especially outside of Alola, is, like,
Yeah.
more aggressive. Like, more people can
Temperamental.
ride a Mantine than can a
Yeah.
Sharpedo. Outside of that, I feel like I'm pretty happy with the placements. I can't... No, because, yeah, we put Gyarados here because it's just extremely aggressive. Same with Salamence, I guess.
It's just a tier list for these things are angry.
Yeah, like, B tier is just like, it's fine, but it's angry. Like, Dodrio, Braviary, like, yeah, it's fine, I guess. Man, I wish we had more information about Tropius, though, because I feel like this could be higher if we just, like, knew more about it
Yeah.
in terms of what it actually is. I'm gonna put this in, like, I'm gonna move this up a little bit. Because, like, I feel like it could be A rank if we just knew more about it, and that like, lack of information makes you want to put it a little bit higher. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Hand me a Tropius fruit.
Exactly. I think
Okay,
everything
hear me
else
out
looks
here.
fine.
Beware.
Beware? I mean, isn't that just kind of the same deal as Machamp, but with less arms?
Yeah.
And it'll kill you?
I mean, only if you let it hug you.
It would have been cool. I mean, hey, maybe someday we'll get, like, Let's Go Hoenn. I don't know, we can Let's Go
That's true.
Torchic, and then... Or, I guess Let's Go Plusland Minun, and then you can maybe ride every Pokemon like you can on Let's Go. Yeah, one thing I also just, like... I was almost gonna include it, because we're talking about, like, Hoenn, is, the Aeon Duo. Because, like, that's another one, it's like, that's like a quintessential, like, ride Pokemon, but... Again, it's a
You
legendary...
know, why didn't we put Copperage on this list?
I was thinking about it, but, like, it just doesn't... It's too tall, isn't it? to like comfortably get on and off of it.
Just like have it like put its trunk down for you to get on.
Okay, but that again feels like a situation where like it's a quadruped Pokemon. Like technically you can mount it, but like it's not like really.
I know
for it.
I know it's it's a very strong Pokemon that basically it's used to working with people, but you might be right. You might have a point there.
But yeah,
Dragapult's another one that we could have talked about.
Which one?
Dragapult.
That's true. I assume because it was a ghost type, it wouldn't really be doable. Yeah, but I guess you can.
Incredibly long body. We've
But
seen
is
her be
most of its
ridden on
body
in the
like
anime.
transparent?
The tail of the tail is transparent, but its upper body is
Oh, fair
completely
enough, yeah.
corporeal.
I guess, yeah. I know there's real-world elephant riders, but again, it was just like Copperage is just like too tall. I was thinking about Donphan, but Donphan rolls, and that
Yeah.
unless you put like
Unless
like
you
a
know-
thing through its middle, like
Yeah,
a gyro.
bike. You just make it a unicycle.
Yeah, it's just like a Cyclizar but worse. Nah, I think I'm pretty happy with the state of
No,
this
dude,
tier
that would be the best thing ever. Having like a freaking Dawn
That'd be
fan
so
bike where
funny.
it's just like, dude, get me one of those right now.
Have one of them be a regular Donphan and the other one be Iron Treads. It's like half futuristic. But yeah. I'd say I'm pretty happy with this. Thanks for
That's good.
coming by the stream. This is useful
Hey,
information.
what can I
I'm
say?
gonna be-
Pretty here to. I was happy to talk and do stuff.
I'm gonna be shamelessly stealing this while I'm working on a script for like ride Pokemon. I'm probably gonna be ignoring most of these, but I'm gonna be talking about like the ones that have interesting stuff to say about them
That's true.
for this.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Mammothswine.
I did think about it, but it just looked too round to ride on.
No, it's easy. You can ride it pretty easy.
How?
You just have to kind of wait for it to like kind of crouch down.
I
and
guess
just climb
yeah,
on
true.
it.
But honestly, though, if we're talking about like, if I'm always looking at Mouse, I was like, it's either this, but like Pillowswine is a literal saddle. Like Pillowswine is saddle shaped. Yeah. No, thanks for stopping by. It's always nice to have people in the chat. I'm gonna be hopping off. Thank you for stopping by again, and I guess I will see you when I stream next. Next days are gonna be a bit busy, but yeah, I'll post the stream like an hour in advance as I usually do when I decide. Might do more Mythics Arceus again because I did confirm the game does in fact work. Like the mod still works for the post game stuff. It's just that the alphas aren't level for some reason. So yeah, I could go through the post game, get all the plates, and fight Mr. Velo. But until then, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace out.